another new Gigapan for you to look at today. Now this one is Sol 1286. Now these are enhanced. These are not completely raw because they were like really muddy. So I had to brighten them up and I colour corrected them. So they've gone a bit bluer. So they're a lot nicer to look at than some of the raw Gigapans. You can actually see a bit of colour in these. You can see the sort of blue-grey sand at the bottom of Mount Sharp. But there's loads of stuff to see here. And I found a couple of new things, which I'm going to show straight away. And then I'll show you some of the other things, but I'm not going to go through everything here because it really will take all day. Basically, let's have a look at the new things I found. I found another boat here. Right? It's an actual boat or something very similar to a boat. It's boat shaped and it's got some kind of structure sticking down at the back here like an engine. Or it may have like a big huge rudder or something or an outrigger. It's pretty hard to see exactly what it is because it's quite a long way away. But there's also a weird structure above it here which is kind of buried and obfuscated. Now if I show you on the Gigapan where that is, it's just up here. Here it is, just here. So if I zoom out, it's towards the left of the Gigapan, right here. And you can see it pretty clearly without doing anything to the image at all. You don't have to enhance it, you can just look at it. You can see that there's something buried at the back here with structures, rectangular structures in here. And then we've got this ridge, and then we have a boat sitting on the edge of this ridge right here. It's either a boat or a boat-shaped structure or some kind of vessel. I don't know exactly what it is because we can't see quite enough detail, but we can see parts sticking down, almost like legs. Okay? So this may be some other type of vehicle. It could be even a flying boat for all we know, or hovercraft like I've shown before. But it seems to have something on the back here coming around like this. So if I show the close-up of it I've got here, then I'll point out those details. Now, this does get a bit fuzzy and broken up when you get in too close because the image has been obfuscated. In other words, information has been removed and smudged over, it looks like at the back here. So all this here is a structure, all this here, but it's been fudged over by NASA, JPL. They've scrubbed it, or at least partially scrubbed it. But when you play with the contrast on these images, you can push that detail back out. There's something going on here which looks like a structure here at the back. And you've got some white object here sticking up with something sticking up like that. So there's something going on there. I don't really know what it is, but it's some kind of intelligent structure that's buried and obfuscated, right? And then we have this thing. So let's go in a bit closer. Right, okay, don't want to get too close. That will do. We've got a cabin. We've got the front of the boat, if it is a boat. There's a leg. And another structure sticking down here. There's something sticking up at the back. And what looks like a big rudder, just here, going into the dirt. Okay, can you see that? And there's this kind of leg thing sticking out there. It's got a sloping back. It's got a cabin coming up here. This is may or may not be joined. There seems to be something sticking up there, but it's hard to say. It's a bit confusing, the background there, because it's kind of smudged out and the detail isn't brilliant. It's a long way off. This is miles away from the rover. So this is quite big. I would say this is about 50 or 60 feet long, possibly bigger. I don't know exactly, but you can see, once you know it's there, you can see those details. You can even see a reflection here, as if there's glass. And this thing sticking down. Now, what these may be is aquaplanes. Now, some sort of fast boats that we have on Earth have these kind of blades underneath at an angle, so that when they pick up speed, instead of the water going across the front of the boat, they rise up and then sit slightly above the water, with the aquaplanes forming like, they're like wings that operate in the water. And what they do, they're almost like skis. And basically, the front of the boat rises up, and it means the boat can go a lot faster because there's less resistance against the water. So that may be what we have here, because they're like kind of ski, kind of like aquaplanes that stick out below a boat. And then we have the white dome, which I only spotted like yesterday when I was working on this Gigapan. I spent all day yesterday working on this, getting it all together. And not only do we have a white dome here, but we have a weird collapsed kind of structure here with a window on the side of it. Just here. Now it's not very clear, so you need to take a clip of that. There it is. A very, very white, shiny dome. Just here. With some weird kind of structure behind it with a square window. In fact, maybe possibly a couple of windows here. This almost looks like a front of an aircraft that's kind of crashed and all kind of broken up. Who knows? There are others in the area. So this is really crazy. Let's go back a little bit because it gets a bit blurry. There we are. There's the dome. This is really clear. And you can see it perfectly clearly in the Gigapan. I never spotted it. I'm surprised over these years. I've been looking at these images for many years now. I'm really surprised I didn't spot this before. And where to look is right over to the left-hand side of the top one. Got this ridge coming down here. You've got these big structures at the back which look a bit like domes and pyramids that are ruined. And then down here, you can see the white dome just there. So it's really clear. And you can download, anyway, you can download the original images from here. If you follow the Caltech link, it will take you to the original download page where all these images are, and I promise you will see this. Once you know where to look by this ridge, once you know where to look, you'll find it, and it's crystal clear. Just there. Now that is not a rock. Now this goes back to a video I did a couple of years ago. Was this. Now I've done a new enhancement of it here. This is a shipwreck, just here, and a car, just here. Now I'll show you the actual Gigapan first. Now this end of the Gigapan is a bit dark up here, so it helps if you brighten this up. But you can see it, just here. We have a rib, almost spine-like structure that goes all the way along here to about here. And just here, which is very faint in this image, we have what looks like a Humvee vehicle, just here, a car, just there. There's a wheel at the back and a wheel at the front. There's a little cabin. Now you can't zoom right in on there. You can actually zoom in using your browser if you want to get a bit closer, like that. There it is. But if you look at the enhancement down here, I've darkened it and brightened it a lot, which you've really got to push the brightness on this to get it to pop out. And this is what I've come up with. Now, I did do a video on this before. You can link to it from here. But this is a new enhancement, and I've gone in a bit more carefully and enhanced the structure so that we can see all the linked parts. You can see all these links, like a huge spine. Now, I don't think this is an animal. It could be, but I doubt it. This is hundreds of feet long, this thing. It's at least 200 feet long, right? Maybe 170 or 160, but it's very, very long indeed. And it depends where you how long you think the object is. This may be part of it over here as well, but I actually think the object stops about here, and there's a different thing there, but I could be wrong. This could be another broken section of it. But you can see these weird spine-like parts. Now, could this be a submarine that's been sunk and eroded, and we're seeing like internal kind of bulkhead sections? Could it be a ship? It could be anything like that. I don't really know. But one thing is for sure, these are very complex structures here. And you can see that they're interlocking and joined up, almost like biomechanics. Very, very interesting. And the fact is, another car. Now, I forgot all about this car. I should have shown it in my car video the other day. I forgot all about this one, because it's so far away. This is miles away, but this is quite large, 20, 30 feet long, this thing. You can just about make out the front wheel and the back wheel. And the back sticking out of the back there a bit. It's a bit like a Humvee kind of size. It's a large vehicle, it's not a small car. And just in front of it, we have a bunker-like structure with what look like little doors or windows. Just here. But that's very unclear. There's tons of stuff here. We got the dome entrance thing, which I did a video on years ago, which kind of went viral. You can link to that here. Then we have this. This was interesting. Now, I showed this also many years ago in some of my early videos. There's a giant sphinx head up on the mountain, just here. You see the eye and the nose here, and the mouth there. But it's a side view. But just in front of it, we have a huge, long kind of dome structure. Now, a lot of these domes, according to NASA, are natural buttes caused by erosion. Water erosion. Yeah, right, okay. Well, this one's got a kind of rectangular structure on the side of it here. Right? But also a giant sphinx kind of Egyptian style looking massive head behind it, which is probably 200 feet tall, this thing. Right? 150? Who knows? Let's see if we can spot it up here. There is a marker for it. There it is. Now, it looks very pale in this image. But you can see it. It's there. There's the giant head. And there's like a causeway in front of it. So you'd be able to walk up here probably. And there's that long barrow kind of dome thing. Just here. But it's very pale in this image. So you need to darken it, like I've done. There's a strange depression here. A lot of this looks like it's been fudged out by NASA or JPL. It's been smoothed over, a lot of this. This blue material at the back, and we've got structures hidden in this blue material. There's lots of weird stuff here. Now this here is another ship, but this has been deliberately obfuscated. Now if you look carefully, look at this shape here. We have a sort of rectangular shaped blue area here, and then we have something here, right? See this object or structure? And then look at this. Now, this is very pasty. This whole area has been smudged over and obfuscated. All right? And if you follow the link, it will take you to the hovercraft that I found here. Now, this corresponds exactly with the hovercraft that I found. Here's the hovercraft. Now, if you look carefully, we have the city structures up on the mountain here. And you go below the city structures, we've got the sewer outlet here. Let's go in closer. Sewer outlet here. Right, that's what I called it. We have the sloping causeway that comes down with all the buildings up here, with the pyramids and stuff up there. But this is a different angle. And right below there, we have, down here, that same area. We have a structure here, which is kind of rectangular. And then we have this thing. But you can see it in this image, the ship or hovercraft. And we have that blue, dark blue kind of structure there, right? So that's the hovercraft there. And this is like a kind of blue rectangular area, like a depression here. That corresponds to what we're looking at here. Let's get rid of that a minute. So when I zoom out, you can see that's where it is, and it's all been bleached out and smudged. That is the hovercraft. You can see the edge of it there. It's some kind of ship or something, or ship-shaped structure, I should say. And we've got that blue structure there. That corresponds to what we're looking at here, just here. But from that angle, for some reason, it's almost invisible, probably because NASA have blurred out the whole area and smudged it out. So if you look carefully, we got this, we got the hovercraft, there's something here, and then we got that rectangular kind of part there. And if you look next to it, along the ridgeline, we've got this weird kind of thing here, which looks like another boat or something there, right? So we should be able to see that on the Gigapan. Let's see if we can match it up. There's where the hovercraft should be, just here. I'll move this marker, it's in the way a bit. That's where the hovercraft is supposed to be. And then we have that boat-shaped structure or depression, whatever it is there. So that matches up. But in this Gigapan, the detail is missing. Now, this hovercraft or boat thing shows up in multiple Gigapans and multiple images going back many years. But for some reason on this one, because there's such a good view of it, they spotted it and scrubbed it. But there's still some evidence of that there. But I think what I'll do is I'll take a clip of this. I'll move this marker out of the way and put it down here somewhere. I'll take a clip of this and really darken it up and see if we can get it a close-up view of the hovercraft. Because it's definitely there, and if you watch the video for this, which you can link to, it shows it on many different days over many different years from different angles and different distances. So it's definitely there. But for some reason, in this Gigapan, it doesn't show it very well. It's partly down to the light angle, I think. We're from a different angle and the sun's at a different angle. So it's probably a different time of year as well. So the shadows are very different. But also this whole blue area at the back here, on a lot of these images, is fudged out. And this has been confirmed by lots of other researchers. I know Chris Moroney at Mars Anomalies has said the same in many of his videos, and we have spoken about it for a number of times over the years. And we do agree on that for sure. There's loads of evidence of obfuscation going on in that area at the base of Mount Sharp, because there's multiple boats and structures and wrecks along here. And they just kind of smudged over the whole thing. And very rarely do we get a glimpse of it where it hasn't been smudged for some reason. So there's definitely something there that they're trying to hide. But they do miss stuff. And there's a boat right there. There's the boat. That's where the hovercraft is, just there. And there's other weird structures here as well that look like they've been blurred out, just here. There's another one. This is either a boat or some kind of strange structure, and you can see parts of it coming down here. I'll take clips of this as well and darken that up for you. There's loads of this stuff, and a lot of these so-called buttes have got weird things on, like this. This one's got a ball on one end, right? If you go down below the dome, just here at an angle, you have this. This was weird. Now, I've been seeing this for years, and I never really got a good angle on it, and this is the best angle of it that I've seen so far in this particular pan. And we got a butte structure, so-called butte, with some weird parts to it, but basically on one end, we've got this kind of weird ball-shaped thing, just here, with parts coming off it. Now, I don't know what that is. It may be natural, but it looks very, very odd and out of place. It's just kind of, it looks like it's been stuck on the end. So this is probably not a butte at all. This is probably some kind of dock structure where boats may have moored up against this and tied up on this or something. This could be like a bollard or a capstan or something like that. Who knows what it is, but it's very odd. There's a ball with a part coming out the back and some strange kind of parts to it. There's got a kind of square base to it or a straight base, and it's kind of joined on the end of here, and you can see that there's like a concrete plinth underneath it, like a structure just there. You can see the shadow here. You can check all these out. These are all linked to other videos you can check. I haven't really got time to go through all of it now. So check out this other car. You don't see a lot of detail here, but it is car shaped. It could be a structure that just looks a bit like a car from here, like I've said before. But it's right in front of a shipwreck or boat or whatever that is there. Or submarine or something. And there's loads of other wreckage here. So I really can't see how the skeptics can even dispute all this stuff. They might be able to dispute some of it, maybe. But there's so much stuff here. I think it's now impossible to debunk, because basically the amount of evidence I've got on this page, as well as all the videos that it links to, is enough in itself to prove that there was life on Mars and to prove that there was a civilization in Gale Crater millions of years ago, but also there were things going on the ground before the lake dried up. And in the lake there were boats, there were structures, there were ships, there's a city looking down on the dock area here. I've got other gigapans that you can check out where it shows loads of shipwrecks and things like tanks and guns and weapons lying around. There was a battlefield here, which I showed in my previous couple of videos. There's like houses and bunkers and machine guns. There's this stuff lying around all over the place. And in many of my other videos, you will also see hundreds and hundreds of animal remains. All types of creatures that probably survived the cataclysm or were feeding off the victims from the battlefield perhaps, and also drinking what was left of the water in Gale Crater before it completely dried out when the atmosphere was largely destroyed in the past. So there we are. So thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you soon.